Jackson Podcast.
I have a very, very special guest on this episode. I only got access to this guest once a year, so I want to take advantage of the conversation. And I feel like this is important. You know, we've been covering a lot of topics from the Jubilee platform. Candace Owens was on the Jubilee platform a couple of months ago with a viral conversation. Amanda Seals was on last week and she was talking about reparations and black on black crime. So this week, they released a video saying black men don't protect black women. In the comment section, I want to know y'all thoughts off top of what y'all think about that. Then I gotta bring my special guest to the platform, and I want to know how you doing today, wifey. Talk to me.
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm great. How about you?
Good. Thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, let's get on into the video, and we're gonna chop it up and have this conversation. Let's go, guys.
I've seen so many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like, I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And I have to majority. Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let me.
I prefer to date outside my race. Step forward if you agree with the prompt.
Realistically, I would definitely want to marry a black man. I know that we've experienced a lot of trauma in our community, and I think that trauma stems back from our colonizers, which have put us against each other, and it makes it difficult for us to come together and be healthy in a relationship, if that makes sense.
For me personally, growing up mixed, just because I did grow up more so with my mom on the white side of my family, just when it came to dating experiences with black men, if anything, they would always tell me, oh, you're really white, or just really racial comments about how I'm mixed that makes me uncomfortable. Like at the end of the day, I'm black. Right. I understand that I grew up predominantly on the white side of my family, but people don't see me on the street and think that's a white woman. Like right.
They're gonna look at you as a black woman.
Yeah, I'm a black woman.
And you're gonna go through the experiences that a black woman go through.
Yes, versus always bringing up that I have a white mama or I act a certain way because I grew up white. It's just, I'm me. I grew up how I grew up. And so if I am gonna be in a relationship with a black man, I would like him to just not bring that up. But in my experience, that's been a constant conversation topic.
Can the disagreeers step forward now?
My mom, she was adopted by a white family man. She's also half white. Okay. And my parents were divorced after a while. And so I spent a lot of time with her and we did things that were white. Like I was in Boy Scouts and we camped and we did all these different things that just weren't quote unquote black. I was reminded that I talked like a white boy all the time. Mm-hmm. And you know, those sort of things, they can add strain. Is that me saying I wouldn't date a black girl? Of course not. Like, yeah. You know, of course I try to. I date anybody, but I just think in practice, you know, for whatever reason, circumstantially, it doesn't always happen all the time.
I grew up in a very white area as well, but I found that when I started dating, even though it was only white girls surrounding me, they didn't understand my identity. Mm-hmm. So I was just going to ask, like, did you or have you found that even though you were in those white situations, did you feel understood by the white women you were dating or misunderstood?
Define understood, I guess. I don't.
Are there things that you would express maybe like politically or identity wise that they might be like, I don't really understand that?
I think it's hard for other races to completely understand what it's like being black and that experience. That's not to say that they can't be empathetic and sympathetic and understand and listen to you and learn things. But fundamentally, I just think a black woman is going to have a different perspective.
So I'm from St. Louis. I'm not from California. I'm not from LA. So I'm from a predominantly black area. Okay. And so growing up, there was only one white person in my class. And so I've only been exposed to our community. And to both of you all's points, my mom is black, my dad is black, my family is predominantly black. So I've been around the black man my entire life. I have so much respect for the black man to where hearing a prompt say, I prefer to date outside my race. It kind of makes me think now, because I've never been exposed truly to the opposite end in such a depth way, to where I can look at another man from a different race and say, I wouldn't want to date you over a Black man, when I have had solely my experiences with them, good and bad. So whether I had that bad experience, it doesn't make me say, okay, I don't think I want to date Black men anymore. I want to go and date a white man. They're going to treat me better. I feel like as a man, you all should be treated as a species in itself. And you all have very intense ways of thinking. And
I
I
can
feel
go both ways.
yeah, true. So I don't think that it has too much to do with race in itself. We have to take a deeper dive into men.
Do you think sometimes that women or Black women, since we're talking to Black women, can sort of superimpose what they believe a Black man should be?
What is your initial thoughts of what you just heard, baby?
My thoughts are, for one, I think we focus too much on the color of one's skin. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have anything to do with, a person's skin, who you fall in love with. It should be based upon a person's characteristics,
Mm-hmm.
right? How they make you feel. Is it good to the soul? Can you trust this individual?
Okay.
Right? We've come too far to be having these same conversations. This is history repeating itself, even though, this is a reality, right? It's just too much focus on the color of one's skin and not the character of the man.
Okay. You know what caught my attention about what was said, and looking at these individuals on this camera, that I don't know if these people are actually Black. The girl that was from St. Louis who spoke about her experience growing up in the community, in a majority Black community, she seemed to me as if she was Black. The mixed girl, her experience growing up in a white household. The guy named Fernando, I don't know. I never met a Black man named Fernando that looked Mexican. And the foreign guy right here on the left that's in the visual, if people are watching the YouTube version of this podcast, he seems more Hawaiian. And no disrespect, but when people actually don't know who they are, and they don't know how to identify with Black people, they get like categorized as Black when they don't understand the Black experience or the Black person, and it's just not relatable. They started talking about dating outside your race like it was a better thing, when I don't even think that they know who they are as young people anyway. Do they know what their original lineage is beyond Black? Because Black is a social construct just like white. It's not a nationality or a people to identify as.
Okay.
Let's continue on with the conversation then. I'm gonna go to the next topic of discussion during this episode. I don't know what it's called. Oh, it's OnlyFans and hookup culture have ruined modern dating. Now, we are in our 40s, early 40s, and OnlyFans is something that we didn't have to experience because it didn't exist when we was youthful. We're married, we've been married. Hookup culture and ruined modern dating. I'm interested in seeing what these young folks have to say. So let's play the video, a piece of it, and get an understanding for it. Then we'll come back and give our perspective.
OnlyFans and hookup culture have ruined modern dating.
I would say that it has really completely destroyed dating relationships. It's really sad, but it has definitely watered down a lot of things too. I'm seeing that, women they're waiting to turn 18 and then hopping on OnlyFans, that's really just a reflection of how the culture is. I think it shows a really bad reflection on how the culture is. And it's really sad in my personal opinion. I think it's disgusting.
My last long-term relationship, which is also why I've been single as long as I have been, he was subscribing to OnlyFans girls. Because porn's one thing. It's like, I see it as it's a scenario based, it's general. You're not looking up a specific girl versus you're following a specific girl while you're in a relationship as well, paying for it, logging into her live cams. Like this, it's like, that's a whole thing. And it's not counted as cheating in a lot of men's eyes because you're not physically touching anybody, but you might as well be. It's a fantasy. Unfortunately, one of the first things I do when I go on a first date, I am going to look at who you're following, because on Instagram, it's public. If I see a guy is following all these like big booty Latina, ass, we got a problem, shut it down.
You're not supposed to have this much access to these sexual women in general. In a relationship, it's really hard when you have so much access, easy access to link and meet up with the people who do OnlyFans, who are on Instagram showing ass. And I do want to kind of side with men on this. I don't have a problem with men liking other women's pictures and following women on Instagram solely. I'm in a relationship. Finding that common ground is important, but I just feel like, no, I'm not going to make you unfollow all these women from social media, because you have to be strong whether you see them in person or you see them on the streets.
Do you guys think you could date someone who has, for you guys as well, do you think you could date someone who has OnlyFans and like is successful?
No.
What do they do?
Depends.
I don't know. Okay, let's start off with they just post pictures. They don't have sex with anyone.
What kind of pictures?
Naked pictures.
No.
What about feet pictures?
Okay, feet pictures.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If you're posting some foot pictures, whatever, man, go get it.
Because we're talking about OnlyFans from the subscriber perspective. I always wonder, what if you met someone who you're like, she's really cool, great personality, very attractive, but her job is OnlyFans.
You'd be setting yourself up for failure.
Why do you think so?
Look at her character. You don't think she's gonna not cheat on you?
I don't know.
I don't think
$1 million
being-
subscriber.
I don't
Causing
think-
it.
I don't
That's
think
a major red
I got
flag.
you a Rolls Royce.
Major red.
Let's give our takes on this perspective for a minute. I want to ask you a question first, though, because I'm so glad we didn't grow up in this era. But I feel like it's cheating. Do you think like men or women in a relationship watching porn and subscribe to OnlyFans, is that a form of cheating to you?
Well, I guess it depends upon what the couples decide. So, for example, with our situation, do you think if you see me on OnlyFans and we married, right, and I had subscribers and I was getting paid, do you think it's cheating if I have conversations with them?
I think you just being on it personally is cheating, regardless, just you being on it.
Okay. If I'm not showing any cleavage or anything, if I'm just up there having conversations, do you think it's cheating?
Yes, I feel like it's cheating. You can go somewhere else and converse with them. Why do you have to be on OnlyFans? Because at the end of the day, we represent each other as a whole when we're in a marriage.
Okay. I was just asking your opinion. So I agree. I think it's cheating as well, because I feel like, you're making a commitment. And if your spouse or if your significant other doesn't want you on the internet showing your boobs or what have you and getting paid, for showing your assets, then I think that's a problem. And I do think it's cheating. So I think, it depends upon what individuals decide in their relationships, because people allow certain things,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So it's subjective, I would say.
It's subjective.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm trying to think of why would you use the word subjective though?
Because what we just went through, what did I just ask you, pertains to our situation, right? Because it's going to differ with different people, because we're all different and we allow different things, and we allow certain things and some people don't allow certain things. What if they are like people that are like thruples?
I don't know what a throuple is. Help me understand that. You moving the mic a lot too. You got to be a little still. What is a throuple? And inform me, educate me on a throuple.
That's just like when you have another person coming into a relationship, 3 people. Okay, so someone in that situation may think this is not cheating because we allow thruples. We'll allow somebody else to come in.
I'm not for all of that foolishness. You know, at the end of the day, thruples, truples, quadruples, whooples. I'm not trying to be in a hospital. If I love you for real, you shouldn't want to see me in a hospital. None of that. That can the thruple person, that's the thruple, could be, yeah, the third person could be out fornicating with a fourth person. And that fourth person could be fornicating with a fifth person. And then you bring all of those juices in my house. And now we end up in the hospital when AIDS is running rampant out here right now. We've seen the statistics, what's going on in Atlanta right now. So what's your thoughts about a throuple? Educate me now.
I mean, that's the truth. I just saw it on Instagram. And so I thought it was interesting. However, I see a lot of people talking about they're in relationships with so many different people, sister wives, it's all kind of things going on now. Everything's acceptable. Whatever's good for them is good for them. Right. And that's what they want to do. That's how they want to live their life. Then that's you. We can't worry about that. Right. We are too judgmental, I feel as though, when it comes to individuals and how they live their life, because it's their life. They should do whatever they choose to do. We don't have nothing to put them in heaven or what. So let them be free.
I agree with you on that. I agree. I'm having a hard time with this computer, but it's okay though. We'll get it together. I'm trying to scroll to the next topic it can. Uh, I like your conversation though, baby. You bring in different situations and different topics of discussion at hand, but let's let these people converse because you caught me off guard with that throuple situation. You know. Hold on, let me play the video. See what they're talking about.
A lot of things too that don't really have backing as well, and you make a lot of broad statements.
They're true though.
I think feminism maybe played a part in it, but I don't think it's the reason why women are on OnlyFans.
I agree.
Right?
I think it's
I think it plays a big role.
It's
No, it does. It does. I mean,
Women
this,
wanting independence, OnlyFans being the easy way out.
no, I agree. It's this whole idea that
10K
like
a month.
again, sexual revolution, capitalism. It's the fastest way to make money. Basically, prostitution is the oldest profession.
I was just about to solely because you brought up prostitution, but before now, women weren't allowed to have bank accounts. If you did not have a husband or a man taking care of you, what were you left with? I don't think that it's because of feminism.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful with how.
How do you feel about the era of women not being able to have their own bank accounts and their own finances and not being able to vote? Could you have survived during that time?
Negative. That's not who I am. I'm very, very, very independent, type of individual. So yeah, it definitely wouldn't have been for me.
So women being able to obtain finances from OnlyFans, from prostitution, which is the oldest form of work. That's what they say in this video and in a lot of things. Do you have a problem? Or is it like, speak to your thoughts, the world's thoughts, and it being a sin or whatever? Let's get a little, interesting in this. Is it okay for women to be able to independently obtain finances by doing whatever they want to do?
I think so, because you know who I am. I believe that it's your decision, right? It's your body, it's your life. So live it. Bottom line. At the end of the day, when your bills need to be paid, you have to pay them, correct? So, in other words, other people's opinions really don't matter. Be free. Be happy.
Okay, well, I can combat that for a second. Not trying to make a combative conversation, but now, if women can do all of that, is it wrong with men being a pimp in the situation? Hold on. I know you're ready. Being a pimp in the situation, because that's like a manager, a facilitator, someone who is looking out for your best interests while you're dealing with these trials and tribulations in the street. What's your thoughts about pimps?
I feel the same way. That's what you want to do. You're getting your money. Do what you want to do. If someone lets you pimp them out, that's on them. That's on you. That's what you have. Hey, I'm here for it.
Okay. So since you're saying all of these things, right? Uh Nevada is prostitution is legal in Nevada. They are able to obtain finances, they can pay taxes on it. New York is looking at seeing if they can do that possibly.
Okay.
Uh I'm not for the legalization of it, me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your thoughts of states trying to implement that to make it a taxable asset to the country?
I live in my own utopia, right? So, in other words, I really don't care. I'm just going to be frank. I don't care what the people do. I don't care what the states do, the governor do, Donald Trump do. I don't care because it doesn't affect me, right? When I close my door, that's what matters to me. What goes on in my household? Everything else, I can care less.
Let's continue on with the video.
Fact that there are lonely men that are creating a market for this. Like we can't complain
Definitely.
about something that exists.
Right. Because I'm like, what does it even mean to be like, oh, you talk white? Or
Speaking like a normal, articulate person.
exactly.
White to hold.
I would say that is an issue.
I've heard that my whole life from our community. I hate to use the word code switching because I know it's slang, but that's our language within the community. But outside of that, I am a very intelligent individual. So I know that I need to speak and not use Ebonics so that you'll be able to understand me. And I think that in itself outlines the fact that I feel more judged by those outside of my culture, outside of our race, than inside.
Walking around in society, I'm automatically judged by people who are not black because I'm black. And they have an expectation if I'm not dressed properly, if I don't carry myself a certain way. And I understand that. To your point, like I refuse to be a victim. So I'm going to like, okay, whatever it is, like I'm going to present myself the best way possible so that I know I might be judged a little bit walking through the door, but at least I'm giving myself an opportunity. But yeah, I think black people, at least we might give each other crap for like being different, but at least I feel like we always have each other. Most of the time, we have each other's back. I think as black.
I don't
people.
think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
I-
think so.
That's a
Especially not a
major-
black man with the black woman.
You don't think so?
No.
I agree. I agree there because I think that when black people at school said that I talked white, and especially with a British accent, it's even more like white. It was always more like you say. It was kind of just like we're in the community together. I feel like when the white people would say stuff, it was like the true attack. The girl, to an oversharing in this modern world, the girl that I lost my virginity to, white girl, and a few weeks after, she was asking my friend about me, and she was like, does he consider himself white or black? And then my friend was like, he's black. And she's like, oh, that's a shame because I'd only date a white guy, but at least I can tick a black guy off my list. And that's like my first ever like real sexual experience. When it was the black women in dating saying you talk white, you're too middle class, whatever it is, then that was just like, okay, yep, just we are different parts of the same community. When white women and other partners who would be like, you're not meeting my dad because he would never let me date a black guy, that felt like way more cutting.
In a sense, it's a fetish. And we have to be careful about that because as a black woman, you're a black man, I'm around black men. You're not a fetish for me because you are a part of my community. And so I disagree with for myself, my experiences, the black community has fully supported me. But I think when you expand outside of your, right in your face community, you'll realize that there are a lot of black women that are just rooting for black women because they're black. I mean, we can think about the election.
Yeah, I can definitely say environment because when I lived in Atlanta, it was nothing but like black support, black love, everybody's helping each other. You don't see too many black men with white women there.
I carry my parents' relationship pattern.
So that topic was I have felt judged by black people more than any other race. Something that I'm starting to pay attention to with these people. I feel as if it's only one black person up here that, really identifies as American black. and listening to the other people speak, I feel like being mixed and not knowing who you are can be tough because you don't know who you are. So when you approach white people, they have a perspective of you. When you approach black people, they have a perspective of you. And if you don't know who you are internally, then it can have an impact on you. What's your thoughts about I have felt judged by black people more than any other race?
As for myself, I would say for one, I'm judged by everybody, regardless, right? It's something that's expected. It's something that I know that's going to happen. But the difference with me is I don't care because I'm sorry, that's just who I am. I know who I am. I knew who I was a long time ago. Nobody can tell me anything different because I'm, confident in myself. And so the only person that really can judge me is God. Right. But, it's a common thing. We always do it to each other. African Americans, Caucasians, whomever, we always judging each other. We don't have nothing else better to do. So that's what we do. We judge each other instead of judging ourselves.
I really like that. And that's something that I like about you also. I like that about you a lot because I don't care either. I just really don't care. And I think the reason we don't care is because we know exactly who we are. When you know who you are, all of that old type of stuff that people's perception of you, it is valueless because you know who you are. So what I would suggest to these young individuals is, man, find out who you is, man. It's a value to that. It's a priceless value to that. It's a piece to that also. You ready to get to the next topic? You ready to get to the next topic? Okay.
So I just had a baby. He's 4 months. And I have a partner. We're in a relationship. But I do tell him often that my mom and my dad never married. And so marriage is not my top priority. Although I want to be married, it's not the end all be all. I think that some people are raised and they've seen their parents married, like I have to be married. I don't feel that way. And I do believe in healthy co-parenting. My parents were healthy co-parents. You would have thought they were brother and sister. So I do believe that if our relationship ends, I would be okay. I am open to being a co-parent.
So I'm in the middle with this one actually, but I was leaning more towards agree with the statement. I definitely learned unhealthy relationship habits from my parents, and they're actually the model. Hi, mom and dad, the model of a relationship that I am trying to avoid. And they're the reason why I know like your partner is sorry. After seeing how my parents' relationship was, I learned your partner is the number one choice, life altering choice you could make in your life.
Absolutely.
With my family dynamic, it's just a little unique because the dad I call dad is my stepdad because my biological father is incarcerated. He's also Black. So my stepdad I call dad has been in my life since I was 1. But so with that, I would say my father being Black, my mom being white. Now that I'm an adult, I can see there was a power dynamic in their relationship. And like I mentioned, I did grow up on the white side of my family. I didn't know until I started dating how differently I had grown up from other kids. I talk back to my parents because that's what they do to me.
Call them names.
Yes. So when I got my first boyfriend, he was like, "What in the hell are you doing?" And I genuinely did not know until I got into my first relationship, like, whoa, that's not healthy. You can't just be screaming at your partner all the time. That's not normal. And I thought that was normal because that's what I grew up around.
I think mine is pretty much exactly that, unlearning, because my parents, their relationship was at a very loud volume, and it was a lot of aggression, passive aggression. Like I got to see them like fall out of love to lead to their divorce. And my dad had my brother and sister from his first marriage, so like I think, talking about inheriting patterns, I always like expected that I would have biological kids, step kids, adopted kids. I always have expected that every single relationship will at some point die and just you will never speak to that person again. So yeah, I think I've just inherited all of those patterns, like you, trying to unlearn them now. But yeah, that was like my whole childhood.
We might be half brother and sister. Don't go on Ancestry DNA.
I don't remember all the circumstances in which my parents got divorced. I don't remember. I know some of it, but I was pretty young back then. But what I do know is how much the divorce impacted me just growing up and not having my dad in the house for years. Like developmentally, I think just obviously my mom did a great job, right? You know, but as a single mom, there's only so much I think she could do. And having my dad in a different state a lot of the time, not having that male presence around really impacted my maturity, number one, my ability to be disciplined, I think. How I interacted with women in a lot of ways, I think was impacted by not having that positive sort of male role model close in my life, involved in my life. And so I say this to say, like, I've followed the relationship model insofar as that I want to get married at some point. But after seeing how that happened, how that impacted me, that's why I view marriage so important and never want my kids to have to experience that. Like, I want to.
This is the last topic we'll be discussing, but we appreciate everybody that has tuned in to the show. Make sure you hit the like button if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Thank you to my beautiful wife for chopping it up with me on this episode. I know I only get your presence one time a year, but this topic is I carry my parents' relationship patterns. What's your thoughts about that?
Wow, that's interesting because I will say that for one, of course, my parents are married. They've been married for over 40 years. That's all I've ever known. And I've been blessed to witness their union. You know, everybody has their ups and downs, but there's always more good than it was bad. And so that has shaped me to be the individual that I am and also to view marriage the way that I view marriage. So I think that it was very pivotal that, their existence was there in my life, and it helped me a lot in determining and deciding if I wanted to be married and the real reasons why I want to be married. So I think it was very good that, I had the opportunity to witness that.
Your take is interesting, and I like that you personalized it a little bit. So you forced me to personalize it. I don't feel as if I carry my parents' relationship patterns because I don't know my parents' relationship patterns. All I know is my mother, and I never seen my mother in a relationship, but all I've experienced from my mother is her investing in me, showing love to me. So relationship situations, I had to learn everything on my own. And I reacted with love to every person that I've ever encountered because I felt as if what a relationship was love. I never seen my mom argue or be hostile. And I carried that trait with me. So that's something that I carry with me, her being a person that doesn't argue or whatever. So relationship patterns, that's interesting that what you see in your household is what you become. What you want to say in closing, baby?
I don't really have much to say. Besides this one thing, I thought about it from the last topic. The reason why I am the way I am, I'm kind of like real nonchalant, is because I remember when I was in grad school and I was reading one book. I can't remember who the author was, but I do recall them stating, "What you think of me is none of my business," right? And so I've carried that throughout my entire life. And once I adopted that philosophy, my whole life changed, my whole perspective changed, and I became one with myself. And life has been great.
Oh, that's what you want to say in closing. I thought you was gonna say, baby, once you came into my life, my whole world changed. You're such a sweetheart. Oh my God. Thank you for your presence. You're the oh
Well, you definitely are sweet. 100%. And yeah, you opened my heart because it was closed. I will say that. And you definitely changed my perspective on love. And you made me realize I can give it another chance. So I'm appreciative of that as well. Yes, thank you.
You know, I didn't ask. I didn't mean to get that out of you, but I appreciate it. I love you. Thank you for your presence. And you know, I guess people on the channel will see you in 2026.
Possibly. I'll be back 2026.
All right, all right.
Okay.
We gone. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.